Am I wrong for being too honest about why I will never consider my dad's wife an equal parent or second mom? My parents were younger when they had me, both 19. They were together until I was one-ish, then they broke up. They didn't get married, so there was no divorce or anything. I also have my mom's last name, and that does come up later, which is why I'm saying it here. My dad met his wife, Carol, when I was 5'6". I met her age 6, and she was married to him when I was 7. They also had 4 kids, and 4 starting a few months after the wedding because Carol is older than my dad and felt her biological clock ticking apparently. It was all very fast for me. My relationship with Carol is not very close. She has made a lot of efforts to take on the role of a third parent and second mom, but I always keep her as just my dad's wife or as someone who's part of the wider family but is not exactly someone important to me. I have a few reasons for this. She never lets me call her Carol. She pushed for mom or mama years ago, and we ended up both settling for ma'am since first names are a no-no. She also pushy with her religion and has called me disrespectful for not giving her religion a chance and not attending unless I'm forced to. I don't believe in religion. I was mostly raised without it. Dad converted for her, but mom said no to me doing it, and I'm so glad. Carol also acts like we had years to get to know each other before she became my dad's wife. In reality, it was about a year. The other stuff is she hates my mom and is not afraid to voice that stuff around me. Carol hates that I have my mom's last name and not dad's. Carol hates the first name my mom chose for me and has implied she was selfish for giving it to me because it's more unique and uncommon and not a normal name. She has called my mom white trash, trailer trash, a disgrace as a parent, etc. for the name. And she has... That is so rude. Like, who says that about somebody's parent? And she feels like dad should have named me as his first son. Then she also blames mom for not encouraging me to use my middle name, which dad chose and is more of a name Carol likes. She also disagreed with mom not putting me in sports when I was a lot younger. Carol is big into boys needing sports from a very young age, and my mom never considered that a priority. Carol is so disrespectful about my mom so often. A couple of weeks ago, while I was at my dad's, Carol and I were alone, and she wanted to know why I never treat her like a parent and what she's done so wrong that I refuse to acknowledge her as any kind of mom to me. I mentioned all of the above and how much I hate when she gets like that. I told her she can't expect to win me over when she talks my mom all the time and disrespects me by disrespecting my name. I told her I would never love someone who acts that way. She was hurt, I could tell. But she was also angry, and so was dad when she told him what I said. They accused me of treating Carol with so much disrespect and harshness. Am I the a-hole? Absolutely not. How do you expect to disrespect somebody's name and their... Because your name is like one of the biggest part of your identity, and you respect their mom. People love their mom a lot, and then you expect to win them over or to treat you in a kind manner? You can't expect kindness when you are not kind. Am I the a-hole for not telling my girlfriend I was gonna break up with her if she went on vacation with male friends? Basically, my girlfriend went on vacation with her male friends. I told her this made me uncomfortable and didn't want her to go. By the way, she used to hook up with one of them before she met me. She told me it would be fine and they are like brothers to her. I already made the decision to break up right there and then, but I wanted to get my stuff from her place before anything, and I figured I should do that while she's gone. I also didn't want to break up over text or calls, so I waited for her to come back. I picked her up when she came back, dropped her off, and gave her the key to her place back and broke up. She started crying and she figured out it was because of the vacation. She kept saying that nothing happened. I told her she knew I was uncomfortable with this and she still went. She mentioned that I still have said that I'd break up with her if she went and that if she knew she would never have gone. I told her I didn't want to be controlling and threaten her with ending the relationship. We kept going back and forth over this for a while. Edit, a lot of you are assuming an awful lot here. Most of you are cool, but to give you a bit more context. 1, she never actually introduced me to these friends. Even though I mentioned I wanted to meet them, she kept making excuses. 2, she never told me she used to hook up with her friend. I only found out because I found an old pic of them kissing when she was showing me some old travel pics. 3, I was okay with their friendship until now. This is just too much for me. Am I wrong for having my wedding the same day as my sister-in-law's due date? My fiance, 32 male, and I, 26 female, are getting married soon. We have had everything booked and ready to go for almost 2 years because we got engaged during COVID. Coincidentally, we found out his brother's wife, sister-in-law, 36 female, was pregnant 6 months ago, and the due date was the same weekend as our wedding. When they told us, we all had to be okay with them, and my mother-in-law may be not coming because there was nothing we could do to move our date either. The thing is, sister-in-law miscarried 4 months ago, and it's been incredibly difficult for her. She had been trying for a while and finally got pregnant with this baby. While we were all devastated for her, the rest of the family has moved on, and sister-in-law has been extremely spiteful about this. At first, she demanded my fiance and I include her baby at my wedding. We were going to save seats for family members who have passed with their pictures during the ceremony, and sister-in-law wanted us to print out photos of her stenogram scans and do the same. I politely declined this idea because in all honesty, I think it's morbid and just sad. When I said no to this, she said she won't be coming to the wedding anymore because this should not be a day of celebration, rather mourning for her unborn child. She is now planning a memorial and telling family and friends to attend instead of my wedding on the same day in honor of her due date. It's become this huge issue in the family of people feeling guilt-tripped into sister-in-law's memorial, and she told me if I went on my own day, I had 364 others to choose from. My fiancé has some not very nice words for her afterwards, and now she's acting like we are happy about her child dying. Am I the a-hole? I don't think OP is the a-hole in the slightest. I mean, yeah, of course, having a miscarriage is literally so sad. But I've always hated people who, when things don't go well for them for whatever reason, they expect everybody else that's around them to be also miserable. Yeah, the sister-in-law losing her baby is sad, obviously. A miscarriage will always be a sad thing. But at the end of the day, what does this couple have anything to do with it? This couple has their own lives. They have their own family. They have their own friends. They spent their own money. This was their plan. Just because things don't go well for you doesn't mean people around you have to be miserable. At the end of the day, that's just literally that is just so sad. That's like a sad way of thinking, and that's so spiteful, and that's so weird. Like, what? Am I wrong for mocking my friend's husband's weight? My 22 female best friend Jenny, 23 female, just recently had a baby with her husband Tom, 25 male. My boyfriend and I got to meet their baby boy for the first time last weekend when they came over to our flat for dinner. You guys, what is a flat? What's a flat? What does a flat mean? Anyways, we have a hot tub on our balcony that my parents gave us for Christmas last year, and I had told them to bring swimwear so we could go in after dinner. My boyfriend wasn't up for it, so he held the baby while us three got ready to get in the tub. Jenny was the last person to get changed and came out of the bathroom in a bikini. I thought she looked amazing. Really happy and glowing, but Tom kind of laughed and said something about her still having some weight to lose before she'd be as attractive as she was before her pregnancy. I was a bit stunned by that comment, and even though Jenny didn't say anything, her smile disappeared and she looked obviously uncomfortable. She and I had talked about her struggling with weight gain during her pregnancy, and I thought Tom's comment was more than insensitive. I got angry because I started wondering what he might be saying to her in private if he was comfortable dropping lines like that in front of other people. So I responded with, "Just had a baby, what's your excuse?" That dude has a hefty beer belly and a double chin, but thinks he can joke about a new mom's weight. He got really defensive and told me that I need to learn how to take a joke before stomping off to the hot tub. Jenny chuckled at my comment. I thought that was that. But when they left for the night, Tom pulled me aside and told me to keep my nose out of other people's business. I don't think I was entirely wrong, but my boyfriend told me I shouldn't have reacted at all because it really wasn't my business, and I think Tom's reaction speaks for itself. It makes me wonder whether I might be the a-hole in that situation. First of all, her boyfriend, no, OP is not the a-hole, and OP's boyfriend, why does he feel comfortable with somebody saying that about like, why would I be comfortable with someone saying that about my friend in front of my face, and then a man that I'm with is gonna tell me, "Oh, I should mind my own business"? No, I'm not minding my own business. If you say something disrespectful to my friend, I'm going to disrespect you right back. Because why would anybody feel comfortable saying about that, about a new mom? Like, are you dumb? And then, how are you gonna be fat, ugly yourself, and then call someone else fat and ugly? Like, the cost coming from inside the house. But yeah, OPA, I'm so glad she stood up for her friend. And her boyfriend is a douchebag. She should not listen to his advice. What if he's gonna say that to her? Like, if he's comfortable with saying that, I mean, hearing that, like, because at the end of the day, what you witnessed to hear, and if you hear something and you don't care about it, it's the same as you saying it. So him saying that OP shouldn't stand up for her friend basically means that he is okay with men saying that about women, and that he probably is going to do the same exact thing to OP later in life if they have kids. So no, OP definitely ain't. What do you guys think? Am I wrong for wanting to end friendship with my bestie because she wanted to sleep with my boyfriend? This story has like a lot of grammar issues, so just bear with me. Me and Kylie are best friends since our childhood. 1 month ago, her boyfriend cheated on her, which absolutely devastated her. Me and my boyfriend were there for her support, to support her. See what I mean? She knew about my boyfriend since our relationship and seems very friendly with him. Kylie was hurted and heartbroken. Me and my boyfriend did everything so that she can feel better. Recently, we took her out to spend time with us. We took her in dinner with us, took her with us in our holidays, etc. Eventually, Kylie started to get better and better. She started to smile again and was looking very happy. But she kept herself away from dating because she told us that she can believe in a guy very soon. We respected her decision and was fully supportive of her. Yesterday, Kylie came to our house. My boyfriend was going outside to bring some food, so he greeted Kylie and told her to stay here and have lunch with us. Kylie smiled and agreed. When he left, Kylie came to me and told me she wanted to tell me something. I asked her what, and she told me if I could do a favor for her. She wasn't looking at me while saying this, so I felt a little awkward. Then out of nowhere, she asked me if she wanted to sleep with my boyfriend for one night. I couldn't believe my ears what I just heard from her. It took some time to get my sense back, and I told her what the F she's talking about. Then she started to tell me about how bad and miserable she was because of her breakup. But then my boyfriend treated her best, made her feel happy. How my boyfriend took us to dinner trips with her, which her ex never did. She told me that she started to feel wanted while spending time with him. She also told me that how her self-esteem got badly damaged and now she can't trust anyone except my boyfriend. How she wants to feel herself once again by sleeping with my boyfriend. She told me it will help her to gain her self-esteem once again, and she will do better in future by trusting others, and told me it would be a great favor. What? If I agreed to this. After she finished her lecture, I shouted at her and told her to get out from my house. At first, she told me to think about it calmly, but I was in no mood to negotiate about this. So after some time, she became aggressive towards me and told me I'm ungrateful because she helped me in my past many times and I'm not helping her out for once. She told me I'm a selfish person and my boyfriend deserves way better than me. She told me she will snatch my boyfriend from me and that she doesn't give a F about our relationship. After saying all this, she went away. Now I'm confused, thinking what just happened. I went to my chat list to talk with other friends about this, but when I opened, I saw almost everyone blocked me after saying some horrible things. I was sure she told our friends something. I didn't tell my boyfriend anything about it, but now I'm feeling paranoid. What she said lately. I'm getting bad thoughts that she will do something which will cause damage in my wonderful relationship. I always knew that Kylie was supportive in my relationship, but never thought she would do something like this. Now I want to kick her out totally from my life, but my boyfriend doesn't know anything about it because he considered Kylie like his sister. So am I the a-hole here for wanting to break up things with her? First of all, the story and the way things are written just gave me a headache. I had to just go up with the flow and make up things that I was going myself. But aside from that, what type of friend is this? Damn, imagine helping out your friend. You and your man are helping her out, going through, dealing with her breakup. And she says, well, I've been, going through such bad things. So for you to reward me with something, give me your man for a night. Is he a toy? Girl, you better go get your own damn man. But what do you guys think about this story? Let me know what your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye. Am I the a-hole for calling my sister a fat B-word after she insulted my son? I, male 44, have a 19-year-old son who I will refer to as Max. Max has always been slightly overweight and not fat, but not skinny either, weighing around 250 pounds at 6'5". 6'4". I feel like the taller you are, the more you're able to carry your weight. Anyways, he was incredibly active in high school, playing football as well as wrestling for his school. He has always been a little embarrassed by his extra chub, but has been slowly growing more and more confident as he's gotten older, which has been incredibly encouraging to watch. My 39 female sister, who I will call Beth, and I have never had a strong relationship. During her childhood, she was often given preferential treatment due to a minor health condition she had, which led to her constantly tormenting me until I was finally able to move out at 18. After I moved out, I went limited contact with all my family. However, when I began to have children, my wife encouraged me to try to be more involved with family for the sake of my kids. My children became very close with my nieces and nephews over the years, so I continued to keep the peace for the sake of my kids. All of that leads to today. My niece's 22nd birthday. Of course, my family attended the party, which was held at Beth's house. In the beginning, everything was going fine. The kids were spending time with their cousins while my wife and I were enjoying the party as well. Max was sitting on the couch in the living room playing a game on his cousin's Xbox along with his younger cousin when Beth decided to provide the unwanted comment of, "You know, Max, if you spent a little less time on those video games, you could probably drop a few pounds. Maybe find yourself a girlfriend." The party fell quiet as Max sat there embarrassed by Beth's comment. I responded to Beth by saying, "Don't be ridiculous. This is a party. We're all sitting around eating and drinking and having a good time. Why are you trying to embarrass him?" To which she replied, "I wasn't trying to embarrass him. I was trying to offer him some advice. It's not my fault he's sensitive." Anyways, after I heard that, I snapped back at Beth saying, "Who the F do you think you are to be giving my son advice about his weight? Max goes for a run every morning and works as a carpenter. When was the last time you climbed a flight of stairs?" Beth, looking offended, snarled, "Good Lord, I was trying to help him out, and you insult me like that. You always did have anger issues. I feel bad for your wife." After that, I snapped. I yelled back, "You're just a fat B word who tried to embarrass my son in front of all family just so you could get some attention. Then you have all the balls to try and insult me? Go F yourself, you stupid B word." After that, my wife and kids and I all left. Since then, my phone has been bombarded with texts and calls from family members telling me to apologize. I spoke to my wife about it, and while she agrees Beth was out of line for saying what she said, I took it too far and need to apologize to Beth and my niece for causing a scene on her birthday. So am I the a-hole? Am I wrong for not wanting my maid of honor to bring her boyfriend to my wedding? I, 27 female, am getting married in a couple of months to my fiance, 29 male. My maid of honor, 25 female, wants to bring her boyfriend, 22 male, to my wedding. I use the term boyfriend loosely, and I most definitely don't want him there. For the past 2 years, the relationship has been weird. They only want each other and have only been with each other, but he refuses to make things official with her. And whenever they try to date, he starts acting up and saying he wants to be young and mess around before settling, and they end up breaking things off. He has even forced her hand into breaking up with him so he can play the victim. This has been the case for the past 2 years, and they've probably broken up and made up like 10 times already. She swears he's the one for her, but he keeps treating her like a toy that he can play pretend with for a bit before getting tired and breaking things up. But then, after a few days, maybe a week at most, he comes crawling back to her and she accepts, but they just won't label their relationship, and then the cycle continues. I've only met him twice, and both times were at parties where I barely even spoke to him. She knows I don't like him, so her mom asked me if he can attend. I can't stand the thought of being there with my family and close friends acting as if I'm okay with how he treats her. If I allow him to come, I want him nowhere near me. I don't want him in any photos, and I definitely don't want to speak to him. And if I do speak to him, nothing nice will be coming out of my mouth. I want to be able to know he's not present, nor will I tolerate how he treats her. But I also want her to be happy and to enjoy the party, and I want to be considerate of her feelings. I just wish she could understand that she doesn't deserve to be treated the way he treats her. She deserves someone that is loyal and genuinely loves her and wants to show her off. Am I the a-hole? Edit. Just to clarify, she's aware of how I feel about their relationship and him. She had asked me months prior if she could. Since then, they have ended things twice, and I told her I don't feel comfortable with him there, and she still accepted. This time, it's her mother asking me. She's been invited with her family. At the time invites went out, they weren't together, so she did not have a plus one. I feel like OP is in the right here because I would hate to see someone whom I love or care about being in a terrible relationship, going back and forth with someone who's terrible. And then it's not like she really knows the boyfriend that well, like a personal relationship. So at the end of the day, him being at the wedding would just be a random person being at the wedding. On top of that, all the animosity she has towards him for how he treats her friend. I feel like I hope her friend is able to understand that, the reason why she doesn't want him at our wedding. But what do you guys think? Am I wrong for being upset with my partner because of his lack of attraction towards me after I had a baby? Hi all, I 33 female have been married to my husband 35 male for 6 years. 4 years ago, I had a baby and gained 35 pounds. After having the baby, I gained even more weight because I just love food and didn't really exercise control over my eating habits. To preface this, I don't have depression. I have a fantastic job and my husband and I share equal workload. My husband and I don't have a lot of intimacy now, and I earlier attributed to caring for our child. Although life has been good, I don't like how I look at all. My clothes don't flatter me anymore, and I am insecure about my stomach and my double chin. I also struggled with body image issues during pregnancy, which have continued today. Now I am not proud of this, but my husband has stopped making me feel attractive. He still loves me and does nice things for me, and we are friendly, but romance and intimacy have plummeted. I have been experiencing an increase in libido recently, and my husband puts up intimacy all the time. I dislike this a lot. I have been trying to accept my body as our lives makes it difficult to prioritize how attractive we look, although I still am considered healthy by my doctor. Today, I asked my husband that we should have intimacy regularly as our kid is old enough to go to school now. My husband told me he struggled with telling me this, but he has to be honest that my lifestyle choices and the recent changes in my body has made it difficult for him to feel sexual attraction towards me. I can't describe the pangs of hurt I feel and how much this impacted my esteem. I told him that as a partner, he can have intimacy without love, if not necessarily attraction. He laughed in my face, which made me angry. I told him that we cannot prevent ourselves from growing old and our bodies becoming wrinkly. He says that we are still very much young by that standard and accused me of not even choosing to try and change my lifestyle. Honestly, after pregnancy and childbirth and breastfeeding, which made me gain more and then lose because I was constantly hungry, I don't find it easy or realistic to get back to pre-pregnancy weight. Am I the a-hole? I mean, at the end of the day, her body is her body, and if she wants to change, she can do that if she wants to. But at the end of the day, she only has one kid. Her kid is what, 4 or 5 years now. She said she's not depressed. She doesn't have any other sort of medical issues. She says she doesn't have any financial stress. So if she wanted to, I'm pretty sure she can lose 35 pounds. It's really 35 pounds is not that big a deal, to be honest, because I lost 15 pounds in 2 months, and that was me just working out every other day and just trying to eat more healthy. It's very realistic to lose 35 pounds if you're not somebody who's sick, if you're not somebody who's depressed, and if you're not somebody who has like issues, like you have a lot of kids that you can't keep up with, you have a hard job that you can't keep up with, life is just so busy. From the sound of it, nothing really is that busy in her life, so she's just making excuses at the end of the day. And her husband saying he's not attracted to her, of course that sucks, but at the end of the day, I don't know. What do you guys think? Am I the a-hole for asking my brother if he is gay? I, 17 male, have a brother, 14 male, and he's constantly talking about how he's tired of being single and stuff like that and how I need to put him on. How is a 14-year-old child being tired of single? What? My girlfriend told me that she has a cousin, 14 female, and she showed her a picture of my brother and she was interested in him. She also plays in her school's band, so I honestly thought they'd be perfect for each other as my brother plays the trombone at our school. My girlfriend sent me a picture of her yesterday, and I showed my brother a picture of the girl and asked how he felt about her and told him that she plays in the band as well. To my shock, he said that she was pretty, but he wasn't interested. I asked him if he was short and he said yeah. So I asked him what his type in girls and he just shrugged. So in my mind, I was thinking like, if he doesn't even know what type of girls he likes, does he even like girls? So I just asked him if he was gay and said I could probably find someone for him. But when I said that, he got like super upset with me and started crying and told me that he wasn't. I got worried because I didn't mean to make him cry or upset. My brother went to his room and my mom asked me what happened, and I told her. She told me that I had no right to question his sexuality just because he denied some girl. I told her that I was only trying to set him up with someone since he asked me to, and she said that's fine. However, when he rejects someone, you have no right to question him on why he did that. I tried to apologize to my brother, but he just told me that it was fine and to leave him alone. This morning he's been ignoring me, and honestly, I don't know why. I tried to apologize to him again, but he just nodded his head and gave me a thumbs up. Our dad said I didn't do anything wrong, but my mom was like very adamant that I was in the wrong. Am I the a hole? What can I do to fix this? I feel like OP was in the wrong because who are you to question someone's sexuality just because they rejected someone? Maybe the girl was pretty, but she just wasn't his type. It's not because just because somebody's pretty doesn't mean that they're your type. My dad is furious that my mom slept with other people in an open marriage he wanted. My parents got married when they were super young. My dad knocked up my mom, and their parents married them off. My grandfather was able to set up some business for my dad in a big city, and they moved there soon after my birth. My mom grew up in a conservative southern town where she was taught to be a submissive wife. And even after moving to the big city, she didn't spend much time socializing. She had no friends and never went out. My dad was only there to provide for us. He was always away on business, and he wasn't there as a husband for my mom or as a father to me. My dad made a lot of money, so we never lacked anything. Growing up, I became my mom's best friend. We would talk about everything. I pushed her to make friends and to find hobbies. After years of pushing, she started to going to a nearby park and made her first friend, a gym trainer. Encouraged by her friend and me, she decided to join the gym. She met a few more people there and started having some semblance of a social life, but she still continued to tell me everything. I think my dad's new secretary gave him the idea, but he asked my mom for an open marriage almost a year ago. He told her he wasn't happy in their marriage and that she wasn't providing him with everything he wanted. My mom, who's a Christian wife, was mortified and told me about the proposal in tears. I suggested she get a divorce, but she said she didn't believe in it and she wouldn't be the one to end their marriage. As my dad pushed, I knew exactly where this would end up if my mom agreed. Her friend and I convinced her. My mom was hesitant at first, but she agreed with the condition that they would be completely transparent with each other. My dad was a middle-aged 41 man with a belly, and my mom, 39, was an athletic woman who worked out regularly. I'm a 20-year-old woman, by the way. I don't know how my dad was so blind or what he thought would happen. I helped create online dating profiles for my mom almost 6 months ago. After getting an insane number of matches, choosing from them and chatting with them for months, my mom started hooking up with a few people. Getting all this attention has provided massive boost to her confidence, and she seems better. My dad hooked up with his secretary almost immediately. He's had very little luck with other ladies. With their transparency thing, my mom tells him about all her hookups. A few weeks ago, my dad screamed at my mom for some minor thing. Usually, my mom would have apologized, but with her new confidence, she didn't back down. It's been a constant fight with the last few weeks. My dad keeps starting fights by making snide remarks about my mom's clothing or appearance. He almost even called my mom a HO, but stopped himself. I think open marriage finally sunk in. My mom told me he tried to have a conversation about stopping their open marriage, but she immediately shot it down. I think they'll split up. My dad was never there for either of us, but the thought of my parents splitting up still feels weird. I don't feel bad for my dad, but I wish he put effort into his family. I'm happy for my mom, though. A few days after my previous post, my dad left our home and had a divorce served to my mom in a week. My grandparents didn't know about any of this, but my dad told them when he served the divorce. He also implied to them that my mom was cheating on him. Both sets of grandparents came to our home and started berating my mom. I kept screenshots of all my parents' communications, and my mom showed them to them, and it got way worse after that. Grandparents started fighting each other, blaming each other's children for causing all this. A few days after this, my mom's old church friends came to our home. Back when my mom used to go to church, they used to look down on her for being from a small town. My mom has always been a very caring and non-judgmental person, so she disagreed with their bigotry and they began excluding her from their activities. After she met her gym friends, my mom stopped going to church entirely. These church friends started calling my mom a HO and she kicked them out. My mom is on a cut right now, so she has very defined abs and arms. So along with all the normal stuff getting thrown at her, my grandparents accused her of having a man body, and she also had a lot of random transphobia thrown at her. Her trainer friend has been a great support through all of this. She contacted the attorney she used for her divorce, and my mom is spending a lot of time at her house. Turns out the business my dad is running is owned by mom. It was set up by my dad's in her name, so it belongs to her. I didn't know this until now and assumed that my dad owned it. The whole situation is a huge mess right now. Dad is living in some hotel, and my grandparents left yesterday after a week of fighting and trying to force my parents back together. I know there's a lot more divorce drama to come, but I hope it calms down. So then she made an update again. A lot of things has happened since my last update. Firstly, I wanted to thank all the well wishes on my previous post. Writing these posts has helped me process the stuff that's happening, so I'm making another one. My mom's attorney, the one recommended by my mom's gym friend Lisa, has been a great help. She walked my mom through what's going to happen and reassured her. She started looking through the company stuff in preparation for the divorce proceedings, and we found out a lot of shocking stuff. I don't know why I was surprised by this, but my dad was having affairs for a long time. He used company resources to book flights and resorts at holiday destinations. There were receipts for many trips with multiple women spanning the last 10 years. Because he was always absent from our lives, my mom didn't suspect anything. It didn't seem like he made any effort to hide these. He also used the company email to talk to his secretary about the affair stuff. Turns out they were sleeping months before my dad asked my mom for an open relationship. This is what we gathered from their emails. After months of their affair, the secretary didn't want to remain a mistress, so she started pestering my dad to get a divorce. But they wanted my mom to initiate it so that he could get a massive chunk of the company. The secretary came up with the idea of asking my mom for the open relationship. They hoped that my mom would be horrified and ask for a divorce. They were caught off guard when my mom agreed. My dad got jealous when my mom started sleeping with other men, I guess. After initiating the divorce, he deleted all his emails and told his secretary to do it too. Unfortunately for him, they were still stored the company email server. I haven't seen my dad in over a month. All of his communication has been through his attorney. He apparently wants half the company. My mom's attorneys are still looking for more evidence, but they told us they don't expect him to get much with evidence they have. Lisa has been supporting my mom through the whole ordeal. She also got a divorce because her husband cheated on her, so she's been helping my mom a lot. I always find it very crazy, like the lengths people go to be unfaithful and to be conniving and to be disgusting human beings. Like, it's really not that deep. He could have just got divorced and did what he needed to do. He did not need to make a whole entire plan. And I always find it very weird how men always have like this midlife crisis when they reach a certain age, where they think that their wife, whom is the same age as them, is going to be less attractive to other men, and that they're all of a sudden going to be more attractive to younger women. Unless a man has money, you don't see the day, or a young woman has issues like daddy issues or certain family issues. You don't see young women in their early 20s line up to be with old men. Like, you don't see that. You, on the average day to base, especially in the society that we live in right now, and as progressive as it is, you don't see a 20-something-year-old, a 22-year-old, a 23-year-old, 24-year-old young woman being married or having a boyfriend who's 40-something years old. That's very rare. People usually want to be with, especially young people, want to be with people their own damn age that they can keep up with. I don't know. Some people are very, very delusional. Like, when delusion, I don't know. I don't like to, like, yeah, like, I don't even know how to explain it. Some people are just very delusional, and that's just what it all comes down to. Like, oh, I'm young, and I'm handsome, and I'm this, and I'm that because I'm a man, and you're old, frail, nobody wants women, da, da, da. And they get upset when things are proven wrong to them. But I hope you guys enjoy this story. You guys are always asking me, like, oh, why don't you ever read stories that have updates? I'm reading stories that have updates. It's just that some of them are very, very long, and I don't want people to get bored. But from now on, if that's what you guys want, I'm always willing to deliver what the people want. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. And be sure to subscribe and like the video. Bye.